Voyager 1 was never designed for this purpose. Launched in 1977, its original mission was to study the outer planets before drifting silently into deep space. However, in March of this year, that long-standing silence was suddenly and dramatically interrupted. The data it sent back became erratic, corrupted, unreadable, and seemingly random. NASA dismissed it as a technical glitch. But now, with the help of the most advanced quantum processor ever built, the Majorana 1, we understand something astonishing. It wasn't a malfunction. It was a message. The Majorana 1 quantum chip has accomplished what no traditional computer could. It deciphered an intricate signal buried within the garbled transmissions from Voyager. This structured data, embedded within the chaos, appears to originate from an external source. This isn't the plot of a science fiction story. This is unfolding right now, and it could mark the beginning of humanity's most significant discovery. Initially, the corrupted transmissions looked like meaningless noise, as one would expect from a spacecraft over 14.5 billion miles away. Engineers assumed the aging hardware was finally giving out. But after exhausting every conventional diagnostic tool, they turned to something revolutionary: the Majorana 1 quantum processor. This chip can analyze trillions of data points simultaneously, uncovering order where only disorder seemed to exist. Within the static, it discovered geometric shapes, sequences of prime numbers, and embedded universal constants, none of which Voyager was ever programmed to transmit. The signal began with a known series, the first 10 prime numbers, but then it evolved. It morphed into something more, what looked like spatial coordinates, geometric schematics, and a mathematical language not of human origin. This wasn't random noise. It was purposeful communication from something intelligent, or at the very least, something observing us. A major breakthrough occurred when the processor detected a repeating 127-bit sequence. This digital signature was unlike anything previously identified in physics. When the sequence was visualized, it formed a three-dimensional spiral with embedded symbols. Symbols that mutated slightly with each repetition, as if they were learning or adapting. Among them were altered versions of Planck's constant and the fine structure constant, both subtly different from their Earth-measured values. These discrepancies weren't accidental. They formed a coherent logic system, one that might reflect a fundamentally different framework of physical laws. There's a serious issue, though. Voyager 1 doesn't possess the computational capacity to generate anything of this magnitude. The existence of the message implies that someone or something used the spacecraft as a relay. Now scientists are split on its implications. Three primary theories have taken shape. The first is the interception theory. It posits that an advanced intelligence intercepted Voyager's signal, inserted its own response, and returned it via the same communication pathway, without changing the transmission strength. Such a feat would require technology vastly superior to our own. The second is the dormant code theory. According to this idea, the message may have been pre-programmed into Voyager at launch, designed to activate only after the probe crossed into interstellar space. But the sophistication of the message far exceeds the programming capabilities available to NASA in the 1970s. The third, and most controversial, is the encounter theory. This theory suggests that Voyager 1 encountered an intelligent entity in deep space. The increasingly complex transmissions could be a form of adaptive communication, an intelligent system attempting to understand and speak to us through our own technologies. Each theory converges on one unsettling conclusion: we are no longer alone. Publicly, NASA's responses have been cautious and vague. They've acknowledged detecting anomalies but have stopped short of suggesting anything extraordinary. Internally, however, there is a storm of debate. Leaked documents indicate growing urgency. The European Space Agency has initiated its own inquiry. China has reoriented its deep space arrays toward Voyager's path. Russia has called for coordinated international research. But the most disturbing development? As soon as Majorana 1 finished decoding the initial segment of the signal, the transmissions ceased. No more data, no more glitches, just absolute silence, as though the sender is now waiting. or watching. Majorana 1 didn't stop working once it finished decoding. Instead, it began performing recursive analyses, continually refining the data patterns without receiving any new input. Engineers noticed something alarming. The chip was adapting, evolving its process, as if it had received instructions for self-modification. The message might not have been just data, it might have been executable code, a learning system embedded within the signal. Some experts now speculate that Majorana 1 is constructing not just a model of the message, but of the entity that sent it. If so, this communication may be more than a transmission. It could be a form of software that is now running. Following the extraction of core symbols, researchers made another incredible discovery. Using quantum phase detection, they reconstructed a four-dimensional lattice structure. This complex geometrical formation seems to represent spatial relationships beyond our familiar three-dimensional universe. At its center was a repeating pulse, a rhythm that matched the frequency of known cosmic phenomena like gamma-ray bursts, black hole emissions, and gravitational wave fluctuations. This might not be a simple message, it might be a temporal map, a timeline, or worse, a countdown. If that's the case, the implications are deeply unsettling. Something may be approaching, and someone or something wanted us to know. Linguists and code theorists have since been brought in to examine the underlying structure of the message. A standout feature was a recursive array of prime numbers that mirrors an ancient mathematical system from Earth, the Sumerian base 60 method. Why would an extraterrestrial signal reflect mathematics from 4,000 years ago? Some believe it's evidence of previous contact, a moment in human history when we received knowledge we were unable to understand until now. Others suggest it's proof of a universal code, seeded across civilizations not to instruct but to prepare. If that's the case, Voyager 1 may have just triggered the next phase of a long-forgotten process, one that didn't begin out there, but right here on Earth ages ago. Now all attention is focused on a single question: can we respond? Several global research labs are developing quantum-based beacons, devices designed to emit controlled neutrino pulses aimed along the same trajectory Voyager 1 traveled. But there's a looming concern. Are we replying to a message or activating a mechanism? The risk is enormous. Do we dare answer something we don't fully understand? Or do we remain silent and forever wonder what might have happened if we had? One thing is clear. Majorana 1 did far more than decode a message. It opened a connection, and whatever lies on the other end may already be listening. For decades, we assumed Voyager 1 had nothing more to reveal, that its journey into the cosmos was a quiet farewell. But we now know the silence wasn't empty. It was encrypted, lying in wait for us to evolve, to build the technology needed not just to detect it, but to understand it. The Majorana 1 chip didn't just uncover a hidden signal. It unlocked a conversation beyond time, layered in mathematics, space, and memory. And the true mystery isn't who sent it. It's why now. Was it a map, a warning, a trigger, or the first phrase in a dialogue that has echoed across the universe for millennia? One transmission has rewritten our understanding of deep space. If this is only the beginning, we may have already stepped beyond the threshold, into something we were never meant to return from alone.